Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to World Cup Fantasy Football 2022. In today's video, I just want to chill with you guys and go through as many nations as possible and look at some of the best budget options. What I also wanted to do is talk to you guys about some of the scoring system as well that could help us out pick these budget players. So if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and drop a like on the video as it helps my channel out a lot. Hopefully this video will get around 100 likes. So let's go through it. Now, I did a little bit of a research. I'm going to be doing more research, and with your help, we can pick out some of the best budget options before the deadline. And don't forget, this game hasn't fully updated yet. There's a lot of players that is missing. There's a lot of data is missing and so on. There's a lot of players that might not go to the World Cup. There's lots of players that could go to the World Cup. That needs to be updated as well. So we're just going to do like a little bit of an overview on as many nations as possible, okay? And the other thing is the scoring system. I think this is very important for us to look at this because this is going to determine which budget option players that we may want. If we look at, let's just start from here, right? Let's just start from the beginning. Let's start from all players. Oh yeah, another thing as well about the captaincy. I think I may have read the captaincy rule wrong. I will look into it and I'll see exactly what the rule is for the captaincy, okay? So let's look at all players, right? All players, if they play up to 60 minutes or more, they get 1+ point, right? That's perfect. Cool. That's all players, by the way. All players. So defenders get that as well. And midfielders and so on. Assist is +3 for all players, okay? Yellow card is -1. Red card is -2. Own goals is -2. Winning a penalty is very important to know. It's +2. But conceding for our defenders, most of the time, is -1. Okay. Goalkeepers, not much to say really. So we're just going to move on from that. But +9 for a goal. That'd be fantastic. Defenders. So I'm thinking to myself this. If I get a very, very cheap player that I don't think is going to get any big returns, hopefully a clean sheet, that's pretty much what we're going to try to aim for. You know, +5 for the clean sheet. First goal score is 0. You know, let's just say 2 goals and -1. But here, if they score a goal, it's +7. But that is it. That's it for midfielders, though. If we get a cheap midfielder that plays in that central defender role, central midfielder role, let's just say, there's a lot of options here that we can actually get a lot of points from them, like the extra point from the clean sheet, goal scores +5. And look at this, every 3 tackles +1. Every 2 key passes +1. That is pretty damn decent. So I'm thinking to myself, I may go for a really strong defense that could get us big amount of returns, could get some goals and so on, and really strong attack, and go for really cheap midfielders that could rack up these tackles and key passes. I really do think this could be the strategy to go. Maybe 1 or 2 really expensive players like in the midfield role, but I'm looking at like, I don't know, like Casemiro as an option, right? He's going to be doing a lot of tackles, a lot of key passing. This Brazilian team is going to score a lot of goals. He's going to get all of these points that could get more points than an expensive midfielder. Here's another thing as well. Forwards, okay, +5, right? But look at this. Every 2 shots on target is +1. If you get a player that shoots a lot as a striker and is always on target, that's going to give us these extra little points that we need. You know, if we captain them as well, like Messi, right? He's going to shoot all the time. He's going to be on target. He's going to be great. So I think that, especially for midfielder, like budget options, I think we could get away with our midfielders to be quite cheap. I might get it wrong, but that kind of sounds... Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. So let's go through some of the nations. I'm going to pick out a couple here. So Argentina is pretty much going to be the main team that we have to kind of look out for, because they're going to be, yeah, I think they could have a chance to actually win the World Cup. As for strikers, not many strikers that is quite cheap. 8 million, I don't really consider that a cheap budget like striker. So I'm going to look at some of the midfielders. As you can see here, the Paul that plays in the midfielder role for Argentina, that could help us with ranking up those tackles and key passes. That could help us out with 5 million. That's very, very good. But the thing that we need to look out for as well is who is actually going to start for their teams. So that's going to be quite difficult to predict. Otamendi is a player that I really like, you know, from the Champions League game. 5 million, that's pretty damn solid in my opinion. Australia, I'm just going to go for the nations that I think that's got some few good budget options. For Belgium, we are going to be looking at Trossard. That is 5.5. He plays really well. You know, he's playing really well for Brighton in the Premier League. He's on form. But for Belgium, he hasn't really played that much for them. However, that could change. For a 5.5 million Belgian player that might have a chance to play, great fixture as well against Canada in the fixture, the first fixture, could be a fantastic option. As for the defenders, I'm not too sure right now, because I think there are other defenders that we could go for, like Marquinhos, that is 5.5, that could get us a lot of big amount of points. There's quite a lot of decent cheap options from Brazil, like Telles could be someone to watch out for, but we're just gonna be looking at and seeing if, you know, if these fit or not. The player that I have to show is Casemiro. You know, that's why if he plays, if he starts, he's going to be fantastic. And 6 million, I think that is pretty okay for a player that could get more as well. Maybe Fred as well. Let's move on, because I don't really want to look at the strikers. That is quite expensive. You know, you got Neymar, that is 10.5, Junior as well, 10.5. We'll go through some of the best options in another video. Let's go for England and some of the best options here. Trippier, 5 million in this game. 5 million. I think he is probably a must-have. He is a budget option in my opinion. There's quite a lot of defenders out there that is around 6 million. And 5 million is pretty damn good. You got Luke Shaw as well. A very, very good fixture in Matchday 1 for England to actually get a good amount of returns. Another player that is a budget option that could be okay is Declan Rice. That is 6.5. You might know what you're thinking. What the hell are you talking about? 6.5 Declan Rice? Do I really want to go for? What? I actually do not mind that. If I can find a cheaper alternative, listen, I will go for it. I'm going with players that could get these returns. You know, like for me, when you look at the structure here, this is kind of the team that I'm looking at for and going with. It's pretty damn strong in my opinion. I've got like proper players that I think that could rack up those points, that could do well. It's the World Cup. We are going to be getting all of these points from all over the place. If we look at France, you know, 6 million goalkeeper is not what we want right now. We're looking at the cheap options. I think Pavard could be a great option as well. That is 5 million for France. Their midfielders, they're quite expensive. As you can see, 8 million. Coleman, the other lot, I'm not really certain on how well they might do. But then you got Mbappe, that is 11.75. Benzema, you know, 11. Nkudu, Griezmann, these are expensive players. However, Giroud could be an option here. He is one of the main players for France to actually start. And hopefully he continues to start. 7.5. He's probably one of the best budget forwards out there to watch out for. Let's look at Germany. Germany has got Leno, that is 4.5. But I think it's Ter Stegen could be the main goalkeeper for Germany, so I don't think we're going to have that great option. A couple of okay, cheap, defenders that could do really well for us. Midfielder wise, I think Kimmich could have been a fantastic choice, but 7 million could be too much, in my opinion, for budget options. It's the same goes with forwards as well. They're quite expensive and they're just a premium pick, in my opinion. Let's see, which other players did I look out for? Was it Netherlands? I think it was. So let's have a look at some of their defense. It's a shame that Dumfries is injured. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he can actually play. He could have been a fantastic, an expensive player. But I think Steven Bergwijn could be a great budget option. That is 7 million midfielder that plays for Netherlands, that actually starts for them as well and gets a decent amount of returns for them. Plays really well for the Champions League as well, in his own club for Ajax. So he's someone that I would recommend. And don't worry, I will be going through this again and going through like proper stats. Today it's just more like just going through and seeing if we can spot any like really cheap options that could help us out. So there's a other couple of players as well, like from the goalkeeper side. Let's just have a quick look on Wales. They've got quite a lot of cheap players that could help us out. Danny Ward, 4.5 goalkeeper. I got him into my team right now. Some cheap like 3.5, 3 million defenders, I think. No, I think it's 3.5. I thought there was a 3 million there. Dan James, Wilson, and so on. As for the forwards, not many options there, but there's a couple there that could help us out. Let's go to Denmark. Denmark's defense is pretty damn decent as well. Mahale, 4.5. Done really well in the past fantasy football games. Got decent fixture in Matchday 1. For the midfielders, you got Højbjerg, that is 6.5. Like I mentioned before, those tackles, those key passes, this player has that ability to get those for us. Quite a lot of cheap players for Denmark as well. Let me just have a quick look. My list. I've got Pavard, Buffal. So let's go to Morocco. So let's have a quick look. Okay, 4.5 defenders there. Quite Hakimi, 5 million right now. Pretty decent. And okay fixture. Still difficult though. The one that I do want to mention is Buffal. That is 6 million. I think this is the player, right, that is taking the penalties. It is, because this player is what I used before in the Euros. So yeah, on penalties, 6 million budget option. That could help us out a lot. What other budget players? I've got Trossard, Casemiro. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're going to be figuring out a lot more on these budget players. So I'm just going to do this. Let's just have a quick look on some of these ownerships. So let's have a look at highly owned players. So I've got, okay, cool. Alisson, Pickford, Lloris, 5 million for Diego Costa. For Portugal, Nick Pope, that is 4 million. Pretty damn decent. Now, I just did this by selected. I could do it by price as well, but selected by kind of helps you out a little bit. As for defenders, yep, Cancelo is going to be pretty much the number one choice with 51%. Trippier, Martinez, we've got Pavard there. Nice. Quite a few, like 3 million defenders in this game. That is definitely going to help us out. That's going to be pretty damn good support for our teams. So there's quite a few defenders there. As for midfielders, as you can see, Kevin De Bruyne, 53% owned. Let's have a quick look. Is there anyone that is under 4 million? Perfect. That's something that is useful to look at. Bellingham could be someone that we could go for. 11.42 owned, 7.5. A midfielder from England. Is he gonna start? Got Saka, that is 8 million. Is he a budget option though? Don't think so. Perisic is a midfielder in this game, 7.5. There's quite other 4 million midfielders that could be useful. We're just going to see what happens in the friendly before we get onto creating our team. Gundogan, 7.5. He's on penalties for Germany. I think he's a great option. I think there's going to be a lot of penalties in this tournament. I'm pretty certain on that. And let's have a look at the forwards. So quite a lot of expensive forwards here. Messi, Mbappe, Harry Kane, Neymar, Benzema, Ronaldo, Mane, quite a lot. Mitrovic is the cheapest budget option from Serbia. 7 million. We know what he can do. Currently, he's injured. Hopefully, he's okay. A few 4.5s here that I can see, and not many good strikers that I think that could help us out. As you can see, it's going to be what I'm thinking is it's going to be quite the front of our strikers is going to be quite strong. Midfielders, we might get away with like 6.5, 7 million, and a very expensive Kevin De Bruyne. For defenders, I think we're going to go for a lot of these 6 million, 5 million defenders, I think, and maybe one very cheap defender to help us out, like a 3 million. And as for goalkeepers, I think what I'm seeing is going with maybe one strong goalkeeper and getting a really, really cheap goalkeeper that plays could be the way to go. Anyways, that is about it. I hope that this video has helped you out a little bit. Do not worry, I will be going back and creating a top 5 budget options, creating like with stats and so on. But for now, I just wanted to go through it, get some talks going in the chat. Which top 5 budget options would you go for, and those players that I kind of mentioned, let me know in the comments below. Next, we will look at some of the must-haves. And then, when we get closer to the deadline, we'll have a proper draft, like a first proper draft. We'll look at some of the top 5 best options, top 5 budget gems and so on, and the strategies. And there's a lot more. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to try my best to post another video like before Friday this week. And that is about it. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.